Hi, it's Hannah. Thanks for watching. Today's perfume review is all about number 304 from Parfumeur. This launched this year, 2024, and I connected with this brand in Milan at Excellence. I wasn't able to meet the brand founder because he was always busy and talking to people every time I was at the booth, but they did have a very large display and lots of people working there. So many people that were passionate about the brand, knowledgeable about the perfumes, and were able to take me through some of their newer launches. And this was one that I smelled there really briefly. I came home with a sample and then they were kind enough to send me a bottle. You can see that the notes are listed right on the package right there. They are cumin, fleur d'almond, and cedar. I'm going to bring that up because what I've noticed on some fragrance review sites is that they have translated the fleur d'almond to almond instead of almond blossom or almond flowers. And if you are looking for almond in this perfume, I mean, you might find it because there is such a thing as the power of suggestion and being able to smell notes that are listed, not necessarily what is actually in there. But I don't really perceive that much of an almond note in this perfume. And if you've been listening to some of my more recent videos, you know that I'm very much into an almond note perfume right now. I'm really looking for the perfect powdery almond scent, and this is not it, but I wasn't looking for that in this perfume anyways. I'll talk really quickly about the packaging. This is the box that the perfume comes in, and again, they have the notes listed on the front, so cumin, fleur d'almond, and cedar. The red 300 line from the brand is their more spicy ambery perfumes. I'll say right off the bat that I don't really think that 304 is an amber perfume. It's not warm enough and it really lacks that, you know, hot amber base. Like there's no vanilla, there's not really a lot of resins, nothing that kind of leads me into that warmer category, that territory of fragrance. I would say that this is more a fresh, spicy perfume. It's actually perfect for the summer because it is a little bit spicy, but still also really clean smelling. And that's how I would categorize that. So if you're looking for something warm and ambery, 304 might not really be it. On the back of the box, they've listed the notes, the main notes in English, and they've translated them themselves. And according to the brand, it's cumin, almond blossom, and cedar. So you can see that they also have not listed almond as a perfume note. I would not wear this fragrance or smell it looking for almond. I would look for some of the other things that are said to be in here. So that's the packaging. Pretty simple, recyclable. Love that. Keeps the perfume nice and safe. That's the box for the perfume. This is really a fresh, spicy perfume. Does it have cumin in it? Yes, it does. I don't think that there's an overdose of cumin. I don't really get a lot of cumin. The cumin is kind of more in the opening, and it's paired with a really fresh and zingy ginger note, and that's really the spice, the heat, the zestiness that's in this perfume. I think it works really nicely. There's also kind of a lemon note, like a fresh citrus. It's almost like a lemon rind in that it's extremely fresh and sharp and very cutting, and I love that. I think it's done really well. There's no sweetness from the lemon or whatever citrus that's working in the top there. It is just a very sour citrus that pairs nicely with ginger and with cumin. If you're worried about cumin as a note, and a lot of people are, people really don't love cumin. It can read as BO to a lot of people. It can smell like trash sometimes. Sometimes it kind of smells like urine, like it has urinous facets in it. To a lot of people, it's just too spicy. It smells like the kitchen. It smells like Mexican food or Indian food or something like that. I don't get any of that in the cumin that's in 304. I think if you're familiar with some of the more cumin heavy scents, like maybe Amouage Epic Woman, that has a really big dose of cumin in it. If you're familiar with Amouage Jubilation 25 for women, again, really heavy dose of cumin. This is not that at all. Those cumin scents, or those cumin notes, have more of a kitchen spice rack kind of feel, and the 304 does not have that. If you're familiar with another cumin perfume I have is Acro Night, and this has cumin in it, and it really does smell like a bathroom sometimes, you know, not necessarily, I don't want to say it's in a bad way, because I don't know how a bathroom could ever smell good. It functions in a way that because it smells a little bit dirty, it makes all the other notes feel really clean. It elevates or enhances the clean facets of some of the other notes. And I think that's maybe why sometimes perfumers pair cumin with rose, because the dirtiness of the cumin, the kind of sweaty qualities of it, sometimes make rose feel and smell even more fresh. And that's definitely what happens with Acro Night, is that, you know, the first time I smelled this, I've had this perfume for a few years now. The first time I smelled it, I really hated it because all I got was a cumin. But then I guess my nose adjusted, and then every time I would pull this out, and I wouldn't wear it a lot because my memory of it wasn't a good one, but when I would pull it out at other times, I wouldn't get as much cumin, and now it's to the point where I just really think of this as more of a fresh rose perfume. And in that way, I really think that 304 smells very fresh and clean to my nose. Yes, it has cumin, but it also has a brightness, it has a zestiness. The almond blossom here is floral, but it's not floral in a way that reads very feminine. Is there cedar in here? I would say there is, really in the dry down, really when this becomes a skin scent. And I kind of appreciate that, because I think a lot of times when perfumes have cedar in them, they're using ISOE to give you that impression of a lot of cedar. But people can really become sensitive, almost allergic to a lot of ISOE. I find with some of my friends, that's an ingredient that they sneeze a lot at. Like, they're really sneezy if I wear something that has a lot of ISOE in it. And this doesn't have that. I think the cedar's done really well. The almond blossom is kind of generic enough that it's genderless. It doesn't read very masculine or feminine. The cumin is toned down. I think it's interesting that they even put cumin on the bottle, because it is so polarizing, and it is a note that a lot of people don't love. But I would say don't be scared of it, really. If you're looking for a fresh, spicy, summery perfume, then this is a great option. I did wear one spray of 304 this morning, and I can still smell it on my skin, but I can't really smell it from arm's length away, I would say. I could definitely smell it in the car, and that was a few hours ago. So I think, you know, this is an eau de parfum concentration. It has decent lasting power, decent sillage. If you want it to wear bigger, I would just spray more. I was just in a one spray and go kind of mood, and I know that I wanted to try some different things today. So I would say that this wears like a typical eau de parfum in terms of lasting power and sillage. I know their 300 series is meant to be a little bit more intense, because they're looking for something that's a little bit more potent, and this delivers with that. Again, like I said before, it's not really an amber, but it is a spicy perfume, and because it's so fresh and spicy, it works really well in the summertime. I did see someone compare this to L'air du Desert Moroccan, simply because of the cumin note and because of the spice. I would say, to my nose, the cumin in this is not that intense, so I don't really see the similarity. There's also no lavender. There's also no dry heat kind of feel that you get from L'air du Desert Moroccan. And I love that perfume. I still have my sample of it, but I found it to be ultimately unwearable because of how strong and just how strong it is. It was just a little too much for me. I loved it. I loved smelling it, but I was very self-conscious when I wore it because I just felt like it was so much. I don't think that this is in the same category at all. I think this is really a light, fresh, zingy, easy kind of perfume to throw on. It's not as it's not as strong in character, I would say. So love it, but not really in the same vein as L'air du Desert Moroccan. I've also seen people comment on the almond note and that it's powdery. I don't really get that at all. I love almond and I love powder, but I would not turn to this perfume if I was looking for almond and powder. I would turn to 304 if I was looking for zest and something uplifting, something energizing, revitalizing, and fresh and clean smelling. That is what I get when I wear and when I smell 304. It just makes me think of someone who is very focused and has a plan, an agenda. They have a to-do list. That is the person that's going to wear 304. That's the day that I would reach for 304, is when I have like a list of errands and I'm driving around town and I want everything to be kind of focused and to get done, and I want to cross all the things off my to-do list. That is the person that needs 304 in their life, I would say. Before I forget, the one other cumin forward perfume that is still in my collection is Rose 31 by Le Labo. I got this perfume, and this was one that I bought straight from the Le Labo boutique, which I don't know, I can hardly swallow paying retail anymore, but I got this in 2014. So I've had this in my collection for 10 years. And this is cumin and rose. I always think of it as the original cumin and rose because, of course, it was the first cumin and rose that I had in my collection. This is very, very cumin forward, and I love it. Oh, the rose in here is just so good, but you have to like cumin in order to like this. And I have noticed that a lot of people don't really love cumin, and the idea of cumin is very off-putting to them. But if you ever stay in a Fairmont hotel, they have Rose 31 as their scent that they use in their body products. They use Le Labo body and skincare products, shampoo, conditioners, all that stuff. And a lot of people get introduced to Rose 31 through staying at a Fairmont hotel. So lots and lots of cumin in this. This is like a reference cumin for me, I would say. And really, there's not as much in 304 by Bon Parfumeur. Let me know if you have a favorite from this brand. I would love to try some more. I would especially love to try anything that they have that actually has almond in it or iris in it or is powdery, because I love those kinds of scents right now. But this is a great fresh summer perfume, and yeah, it's in the summertime lineup around here. It's one that I am going to reach for the rest of the summer. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.